Pushed all the chassis up now. Starter's nearly in the water tank. Throttle body's nearly in the bulkhead. I think I need to be sensible and build a new car. Sad times. So, Monday, day after the busy weekend. Did decide in my head we would reuse the Old Faithful car, take it to King's Lynn in a couple of weeks. Wheels are still in the right place, still goes really well. But I've got up here, it doesn't start because it broke the wires off the starter. You can just about see, if I can get the camera here somewhere, the starter is virtually on the water tank. I think it's rocked back and broke the wire off the starter. The engine's actually sitting back, it's actually sitting at an angle. You can see on the engine mount here, it's rocked back. Throttle body's further back, and my gut feeling is we'll be pushing our luck. So I've made the decision, rightfully or wrongly, we're going to strip it. It has done 10 meetings, which is phenomenal, but we're going to build another car, so I'm going to start stripping it now and hopefully finish it tomorrow, but we'll see how we get on. So we made the decision to build a new car that you see at the start of this video. And I've actually haven't done much videoing about this, so I thought I'd cover it quickly. It's mainly for the people that aren't from the racing world. So when we say we're going to strip a car out, this is what we end up with. So this is the car we raced. And so we've took the engine and gearbox out, we took the water tank out, we took all the safety gear out, so that's like the floor plate, the roof plate, the door plate, the cage. I'll show that in a sec. All the bolts that held all the doors shut, all the seat belt, all the bolts in the boot. I then take all the front suspension off, anything that's straight, so the steering rack, the suspension, the bottom arms, everything comes off, the wiring loom. I've even took the back axle off this one because it was straight, and the back suspension because I needed some spare bits because we broke some on another car, so I wanted to replace the spares. There's the axle there. So that's what we call when we say we strip a car. Then when we build a car, so we'll move over here. This is the roll cage we talk about, or the H-frame, comes under different names. Going around here you'll see it better. So that came out of that car, and we put this in here. 4 bolts either side at the bottom, and 4 bolts through the roof. We then have to run this, they call it a sunroof plate. You used to only have to run them if the car had a sunroof. Now, for safety reasons, you have to run them all the time. So it's bolted through the cage, and then you bolt it to the roof, and the idea is it holds the roof straight. So if you get a big shot, the cage can't move, it's made the roof a bit stronger. Basically it's stronger above Harry's head. Everyone has to do it. It's a rule they brought in last year, I think, but until then you only run them if they were a sunroof. Now you have to put on every car. So this car didn't have a sunroof, we put that on. Petrol tank and battery tray will bolt on there. Then we have to run a door plate. It has to be a minimum, I think it's 12mm, and it has to bolt through the pillars, so this one. So basically the front and back of the door. And the idea is it's protecting in case you get hit in the driver's door. Great big thing. But it's also holding the car straight. Now it bolts through and actually bolts onto the cage. So again, the idea is the bit Harry's sat in is nice and safe. Then we run what they call a floor plate. Again, you have to run one. Bolts in the floor, goes up under the pedals, it's holding the floor straight underneath Harry's feet. Again, everyone has to run one, everyone's got slightly different shaped ones. Everyone does different things. We run the same seat in every car. The reason we do that is we've cut the base out a little bit. That is because, it's been in the rain, lovely. That is because Harry's got quite tall, he's a bit taller than me now to be fair. So we're just getting him sat a little bit lower in the car by cutting the base of the seat out by 1 inch or 2. Then we eventually tie the seat to the cage, the seat belt around the back. Obviously he's harnessed in, so the whole point of all of this is, you know, it's safety basically. So the bit he's sat in, floor's protected, door's protected, roof's protected, behind him is protected. Then we eventually get someone to weld up the door, so this will have a bit of box section welded down it. The door will be welded here, which is allowed in the rules, and it's holding the car all straight. We run the column brace, and that's where we got to so far. So it's a lot of work. The engine and gearbox out of this car is in there. I would show you, but it's raining, so I'm not going to take the bonnet off. But that's been about 2 days work so far. We're not too far off, but we're going to crack on today. But hopefully it just gives people an idea, those not from the racing world, what's involved in prepping a car. It's a lot of work, and you end up with a big pile of crap. when you weigh your car in at the scrapyard, you're allowed to fill it up to the bottoms of the doors. This is all old interior, bits we don't need, etc. get launched in here. I'm going to get this ready to take to the scrapyard and throw it on the truck in a minute because I want to get it out of the way, because I need to get that car out because we're racing that on Wednesday. So busy. Haven't really had a day off from the yard in about 2 weeks, and I was on holiday the whole time. So it's, you know, people will say it in the racing world, so again, those from outside of racing, it is literally like having 2 jobs. You're on it all the time. That's the only way you can keep up. So not complaining, but it is hard work. So that's where we got to. Goodbye, old friend. You've been good to us. So that's the old car gone. There's how much I got for it. A whole 48 English pounds. Half a tank of diesel. Probably not even half what that car owed. But 10 meetings, loads of memories, a few trophies. It's been good to us. So 48 quid back in the pot. Anything I get in scrap, so any of this, I put in a savings account. And I'll save it all up, and it's going towards Harry's adult racing. So the Sierra we got, that was bought with the scrap money I've put in. So I buy the cars and he gets the scrap money afterwards. So that's how we work it. But whether we'll be able to keep going, we shall see. Sunday afternoon. It runs, it drives. I haven't worked out what the misfire is yet, but I haven't tried it. So that's still to do. It needs welding up and it needs painting. Wheels and tyres on it, needs a harness, but that's in the car for Arlington. But we're not a million miles off. Needs bonnet bolts, needs a bit of tidying under the bonnet, but it's a bit of a rotten old thing. But we're nearly there. So all day yesterday, 3 or 4 hours today, and we're close to having a fresh car for Kingsley in a week Saturday. We've got the Bears meeting next week, so we're off to watch that for 2 days. So want it to be as ready as possible this week. Eastbourne cars on the back there. Just need to sort out the spares. I'm going to take the battery off now to charge that, and we will be ready for Wednesday hopefully. So another busy week. Wednesday 10 to 5 on our way to Arlington. First ever Wednesday night for Harry. They've never had one in the time we've been doing junior bangers, so, and it'll be the last and all in juniors anyway. So going to work through work, don't have a lunch, get someone to look after the dog because I can't go home to make sure they're alright, and then so we can get away in time. So just dieselled up, got our petrol, and we're on our way. Same car we've had up in Scotland and Aldershot and Arlington, and it's a bit bent. We've noticed the axle's moved as well, but we'll see how we get on. And yeah, 18 cars for the juniors. We're on with back to basics and ladies back to basics. So versions of bangers all night. Red hot day, so I imagine there'll be a few people watching. We'll see what today brings. Nightmare journey, big crash. Got here with 20 minutes to spare, so a 40-minute journey took 2 hours. We're here now. He's just gone out for the first race, so we'll see how this goes. missed his neck brace. It's called a Simpson. For those that don't do racing, that's the manufacturer. I'll try and show it on the video. I have to clip it on the crash helmet. Missed it on one side. The promotion then aren't allowed to clip it on, so they kicked him off the race. So never started the first one. That's what you get for rushing. Second race, got fifth. Slippery track. Got held up for a little while. Then once he got through, it showed good pace. So he's no damage. So I've just done the tracking, topped the water up, done the petrol. We're now getting ready for the final. It's thinking about raining. It gets really slippery here when it rains. Just coming to see how one of the other lads got on because he got a load of damage. So frustrating night so far.